Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So today, I'd like to talk to you about a bad decision I made, and it turned into a very bad financial decision. So, where do I even start with my first business and owing $172,000 in taxes? Well, February 2022, I decided that I wanted to participate in a Build in Public challenge from Twitter. And basically, you started a new business from scratch for 3 months, and the business that raised the most money or got the most amount of revenue won. So I built my product for 3 months, and I wound up winning second place. And the sponsor of this was MicroAcquire, which basically it's kind of like what it sounds like, where you take websites and businesses that are in their fledgling state but are generating a little bit of revenue, and you put it on MicroAcquire, and then people can acquire the business for way less than normal. So imagine like you worked for a weekend on a project, you were able to get like $100 every month or so, and then you sold it on MicroAcquire for $10,000. So because it was sponsored by MicroAcquire, they recommended that we incorporate as an S Corp. So I had incorporated as an S Corp. I won $100 being second place. I decided not to put it on to MicroAcquire though, because it was a weird business for that kind of model. But I started paying my state taxes every month because you are supposed to. And I wasn't 100% sure how the taxes worked for S Corps, but I figured if I'm paying my taxes monthly, it can't be that bad at the end, right? So then it was January 2023, and I was working on getting my federal business taxes done. Like, I hired an accountant, we were working together, and then I get a letter in the mail, and it said that I owe $70,000 in taxes. And I know you might be thinking, oh, congratulations, Amy, you made enough money with your business that you can be taxed $70,000. And while I am grateful for the experience of this business, and I've learned a lot, and I was using new technologies, and I made a lot of progress, and like it was really a really good experience for me. The revenue I got in 2022 was $2,246.05. So one of these things is not like the other. Like, I was just not expecting my tax to be 31 times the amount that I got in revenue. So if somebody tells you that opening up a business and that route is the only way in America to get wealthy, you can tell them to F off and just continue investing in the stock market. You know who has never asked me for 31 times in fees? Uncle Sam. He's never done that. He's only at most taken 22 or 24% of the income for income. So, definitely not 31 times. If this was tariffs, like I had a shipping container and it was worth $2,000 and it got to the port and they said because of the tariffs and the taxes, it's now $70,000. Do you think anybody could afford that $2,000 container? No. And I kind of figured at the time it was a scare tactic to get me to like log in and deal with it. But I also at that same time got laid off, and then I moved, and then I got a new job, and then I was like, well, I'm already late. I missed the deadline, so I'll wait until I sell my condo and then concentrate on it. And then y'all know about my condo. So and then I kind of forgot, honestly. But then earlier this week, Matt asked for a poster of one of my thumbnails. And the reason why I could get it integrated into my website so quick was because I had a shop and my first business as well. So it reminded me like, oh yeah, you do have this outstanding bill. Maybe you should look into it. But then yesterday I actually mapped out how I could be debt free by the end of 2026. But then I was like, but how much money do you owe for taxes for this business that is defunct? I don't know. And since it's been 3 years now, do I owe $210,000? Like, what's up with this? So I was a little afraid, and I did ask Perplexity AI a bunch of questions, but at last they mentioned, oh, there's like an alternative minimum tax. And so I was like, okay, if we can get like any amount that's less than $210,000, then that would probably be good. And then it wouldn't keep accruing interest, and I'm not going to jail, which would be great. So I logged in today, and I paid, well, for both, it had 2 years, 2022 and 2023. And I'm not in good standing as a business, so they haven't assessed it for 2024. And I don't know what that means, really. I basically, this is the first step. I need to, maybe I should explain what tax this is, because it's not my federal tax and it's not the state tax. It is the franchise tax. And what happened specifically was I used Stripe Atlas, and I did most of just the default things that they had in their incorporation documents. But when we got to the shares, I didn't know how many shares I should have. So I was doing a lot of lookup, and from what I could tell, it doesn't really matter how many shares you have. So, except if you want more shares in the future, it costs money because you have to register that. So I was like, I'll just have a lot of shares. Except I didn't know to ask. It was not pointed out. Nobody said anything particular. This would have done a lot of alarm bells for me if anybody had mentioned this. But franchise tax is based off of solely outstanding shares. So the amount of shares that I incorporated with is $70,000 every single year. So it wasn't a scare tactic. It's what I owe. So if I had known that I would have to have if I had less than 5,000 shares in my corporation, the minimum tax is $175. Would you rather be paying $175 or $70,000? It's not even close. So I wish I had known about that. I would have paid $175 without blinking. So I did log into the website. I found my account. I filled out all the information. They calculated my taxes. And for both years, my total was $1,408. Which is so much better than $172,000. Almost $173,000. That $173,000 is when I bought my trailer, it was $128,000, and then I bought my truck, which was $50,000. So I owe in taxes the same amount as what I have in my life right now in my debt. So I'm really glad that I know that, because if I had just had the less amount of shares, the minimum amount is $175. But if I use the like alternative minimum tax, the minimum is $400. So every year I keep this corporation around, I'm paying $400. So, and then it was more because I was late, and then it had a 1.5% interest rate. So, it is a relief that I am not in debt. I'm not going to jail. I paid it off. It was not in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I need to pay. This makes more sense, even though um, the entire amount of revenue I got for this business was $2,902.84. So at this point, I have paid 48% of my revenue towards the franchise tax. And then I haven't even I'm in the process of filing my federal taxes, and I need to get my act together, and I need to finalize dissolving this business, because I'm not sure if I actually owe for 2024 or if I can just file for dissolving and it, like, I don't have to pay. But either way, I do need it to be officially dissolved. That way I don't have any more liability. I don't get taxed anymore. I don't get bothered for it. So yeah, and I'm working with the same accounting firm, but then I went to go look something up and my business account got closed. So it's just like a whole big mess. And I made it, and it was basically just because I ignored a $70,000 tax bill, because it was in fact 31 times more than what I made on my business, and that's ridiculous. So, what are the lessons that we learned? The first thing is, if you're going to make a business, make sure that it's the appropriate type of business for what you're doing. What I did should have always been an LLC. And when I have finished actually dissolving my business, I'll show you all what it was and go more into what the actual business was. But for right now, I really just want to get it done and not be liable for anything anymore. And then I will speak about it. But yeah, so, and if you are going to do a S Corp as a startup, consider having less shares so that you don't have as big of a tax bill. And don't avoid taxes. They're not going away. So, this has just been something I've been worrying about, and I didn't know what it, like, this is an experience. This is my first time owning a business and first time with an S Corp. I didn't know, but I mean, it is an excuse, but it's not an excuse, if you know what I mean. But anyways, and speaking of shops and inspiration, this should be in the description down below. This is the Teespring shop that I set up that is connected to my YouTube page. And now we have stickers and a hoodie, a t-shirt, and a mug. And I created it all as a product list, so when you go in, it'll show you different products with the same design. And I think what I'm going to do is, because this is the Printify one, it's miss-roundhill.printify.me. And this one is the Yield Mite stuff for now. I think I'm going to try to put more financial philharmonics on the Printify one and more of the bad financial decisions in the Teespring shop. It's just that Printify has more and more interesting products. So, sorry that I have so many shops. I'm not expecting a lot of sales from this, but if you all want to support me and, own something from me at the same time, I'm not going to get in your way. So I appreciate you and your support of me, even though I make bad financial decisions. And this is Financial Philharmonics, my little side project of a side project. The music today was Look Poor, Live Rich. It is a reggae theme, and I like it. It's cute. So will I do a business in the future? Well, if I ever decide to publish these songs from Financial Philharmonics and onto major, using DistroKid onto all the major platforms, I will get an LLC because the penalty for getting sued for music is $130,000 per infraction. And these are made with AI, but people are sue happy and all this stuff. So I would feel better if I had a Financial Philharmonics LLC and I publish the music under that. And that way, if something happens, nothing happens to me. And then technically, for Yield Might, I should also have an LLC, just like a single person LLC, just in case, even though I'm like, hey, don't sue me. Warning, disclaimers, don't sue me. Someone might try to sue me in the future, and that's what LLCs are for. And the $100 or so that you're paying for the franchise tax is basically just business insurance, but I wish they hadn't come swinging out of the gate with $70,000, because that was just really, really intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. If they would have made it clear that, hey, there's a minimum tax worksheet that you can do, and it might be $400 that you owe. Yeah, I would have gone in there and just paid $400, because paying $400 is better than paying $70,000 when you only made $2,246.05. So, anyway, I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I will report back to you all when my company is fully dissolved, and we'll do a walkthrough of, if you like and you comment, and let me know if you would like to get a full deep dive into my first business. I would not mind going into every single detail that I can with it, as long as the business is dissolved and that chapter is officially closed in my life. So, have you ever tried to form an LLC or been a part of a startup? And do you prefer, what is your favorite side hustle? So far, real estate is not treating me very well. I tried business, and literally all of it is either going to be fees or taxes. And so all we have left are YouTube and investing for me. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.